Hey gang, what's going on? And welcome to Talking Vegas All Day with KA. I'm your host KA, and on today's episode, I'm going to discuss my hopes for Las Vegas in the year 2021. It's going to be a fun episode, but as always, before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, click subscribe, and punch that notification bell so you can get up-to-date information when we drop each new episode. So let's go ahead and get started on Talking Vegas All Day with me, KA.
Let's go to Vegas, baby. Let's go tonight.
Right now.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll stay up all night. Let's go to Vegas. Let's get away.
So this list came about, obviously we are now in 2021, and I wanted to kind of put my, New Year's resolutions together for Las Vegas. So we're gonna have a little fun with this at the end of the year of 2021 in my year-end review show. I'm going to review this list and see which things on my list for my hopes are checked off. So first on the list, my first hope for Las Vegas is that the Las Vegas resorts and casinos can return safely to full capacity with safe standards by the end of 2021. And what that means is we don't just rush everybody back. Obviously, with the pandemic, I would like to see us migrate everybody slowly back. But I think there's a lot of things that we can take from this. Now, of course, I haven't been out in a year due to this pandemic. We've canceled a couple trips, both JA and I. But I would love to see things like better sanitation that we're seeing, such as wiping down the video screens for slots and for also video poker, sanitation stations, things that, prior to the pandemic, we didn't really think much about, just better organization within the casinos, things of that nature. I think more from a sanitation standpoint. And then, but obviously I also want to see us getting back to no screens on the gambling tables, full casino, slot machines open, hotels at full capacity, things of that nature. Vegas has been hit real hard by this whole pandemic. So I really want to see us by the end of 2021 getting back to what we were, or as close to what we were pre-pandemic, so that, it can start to rebuild and renew and revitalize. So that's the first thing. Second thing on my list is that the Virgin Hotel and Casino and Resorts World will open on time and have no further setbacks. Again, it goes back to my first thing with the pandemic. Things have kind of been set back. But with the Virgin Hotel and Casino, we've seen a lot of things they were supposed to be open by now, and they're not. I think now they're scheduling, trying to get in by May. I want to see that get on because, right now I get it with limited capacities and things like that. It's hard for things to get open and make a profit off of that. But the sooner both of these places open, the better off they are. Resorts World, it's been a long, bumpy road, but they're gonna open by this summer. That's the tentative standpoint, and I'd like to see them open this summer. I'd like to get out there by the end of the summer. I usually do an end of the summer trip. Would love to see them get there. Hopefully they're staying on point. It looks like it with both of the resorts and casinos, but would love to see them continue to do that. Next, and this is another resort and casino, and that's the Drew. The old Fontainebleau eyesore at the north end of the Strip. Well, we were thinking 2022, they were going to get things rolling. Now it's looking like 2023. What's going on with the Drew? And you hear things like now it's a dead end again. Well, when you look at what it was supposed to be with Fontainebleau and even some of the ideas of resorts, it's going to be a beautiful resort and casino. But they really need to figure out what they're doing with this project. I mean, if it turns into what that, I guess it was the Harmon right down there between where the Aria is, where they had that city area that they had to tear down. If they got to do that, then they have to do that. And I don't want them to, but it's just sitting there. And eventually time's going to start, we're going to have to look at, maybe it becomes a safety hazard, and God forbid something happens. But they really need to figure out and have a concrete plan. No more of this, oh, well, this company bought it and they have plans to do this. They need to show that, A, we have the money to basically restore and finish the build. B, we have enough money to actually not back out. And if they do back out, then they need to pay the city money, and they need to maybe even put that point of demolishing it. So I want, by the end of the year, that there be a concrete plan with either the Drew Fontainebleau or whatever it is going to be. Also, 2021, I want to see more residencies announced, or at least planned. And I know because of the pandemic and limited seating, we don't have that right now. But I want to see some things get announced. One of the fun things about checking my Vegas sites every day is seeing things announced and planned and reading about them. What I love to see this year is, by the end of the year, we get some shows going. And I know some of that were supposed to be in this year or even last year, pushed the end of this year, even in 2022. But I also want to see some new acts getting there. And right now we're seeing a lot of pop bands, 90s pop acts. I want to see some more 80s stuff. I'd like to see some hair metal. I'm a big hair metal fan. I'd love to see like something like Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Poison, maybe even some lesser acts like, I don't know, just throwing off some names here like Dokken. But just some of those bands, or maybe even the Police, things out there. Maybe they reunite the Police for a limited engagement, and what's residency, maybe 10 dates spread out throughout the year, something along those lines. Or even some new wave acts that are still around or maybe coming back. I really kind of want, at the age of 41, I really want to see us getting some of those acts that I grew up with, some 90s pop bands, maybe some grunge acts now. We're getting in that age where, like, Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, some of those bands start making a comeback. Obviously, you can tell Kay's a big rock and roll guy, but, and I'm probably dating myself, I don't want to see just the pop acts. I want to see some more diverse array of things. So that's another one of my wishes. Also, that hotels and casinos get back to customer friendly things. We've seen some acts of free parking. Some of them have reduced or eliminated resort fees. I think when we get back, and I heard another podcast talk about this, and a couple people on social media talk about this, that they just can't go back to, okay, we're back, full rates and all this, because that's just going to drive people back. A lot of people are affected by this pandemic in the economy. We need to slowly bring them back. I mean, I'd be fine with free parking for a year, reduced resort fees. I understand they got to make their money back because they've lost so much, but for them just to say, hey, we're going to go back to full capacity is kind of silly. Full business structures as normal. It's thing. I'm fine with additional tips or some of those add-on fees. Why some of you might want to shoot me right now. It's just, I think some of the parking stuff and things like that can maybe not be back right now. That the Palms figures out its identity, and this is an odd one. Let me say this. So remember when the Palms redid their thing? They redid the entire resort. They put that big outdoor nightclub, that Chaos, that ultimately failed. While I was there, it was cool, but it ultimately failed. And they were kind of trying to go, I felt when me and Jay toured there, they kind of got this really cool looking interior, and they kind of done it. But what's going to happen to that outdoor complex? They need to figure that out and they need to figure out what they are. They're going for a more upscale, chic kind of look now. That's cool, but maybe kind of go to that. One of the things I think is they kind of spent all this money on this big thing and they forgot that they're off strip. And I love the Palms, but maybe figure out a better way to get people in the door. You got the restaurants, and I'll tell you what, some of the restaurants, folks, is phenomenal when I'm eating there, and I like what I'm seeing. But they got to address that. Now it's going to be a hole in the nightclub. Do you make it a speakeasy? Do you make it a supper club? Do you make it like an outdoor bar party area like Carnival Court? Something where they need to figure out what they're going to do with that space. And that goes for Rio too. And I just saw an article today about that. Rio needs to upgrade and figure out what they want to do. So it sounds like in 2021, Rio's going to be starting that. But they need to kind of figure out what they're doing with the Rio and, you know, what the identity for this is. My seventh theme in this, with hope, is that planned hotels like the Dream, the Atari, these resorts and casinos, that we actually get some sort of information, build, and it goes back to about the Drew, that it's not just an announcement, they don't break ground, and then it doesn't work out. They need to have a more concrete plan. So for this year, I'd like to see them announce deadlines, resorts, openings, things like that, when things we can expect it. I want to see the money being invested. I also, again, want to see penalties if they don't meet these deadlines or things. I just feel like we can do so much more. And again, I know things fluctuate in business, but have plans. I want to see some things done. Along those lines with 8, my number 8 hope is we get 2 new casino resorts upgrades. And what I mean by that, it kind of goes back to 7, kind of goes back to 6. I would like to see some more announcements with upcoming projects. I'd like to see places like Excalibur or other older Vegas casinos maybe announce some refurbishments, upgrades. I know Rio's talking about it. I know Palms has mentioned, I've seen on social media some things. I want to see some upgrades done. So I'm looking for 2 resorts this year that get some things upgraded. Number 9, with strip restaurants, get away from what we've expected. What I mean by that is right now the fad is the speakeasies and the supper clubs. And yes, Ghost Donkey, Mayfair, downtown, some of these speakeasies, these are awesome. But I don't want a hotel to have a speakeasy, every hotel to have a speakeasy. That said, also, I'm starting to see more and more of these supper club places. Yeah, we have Mayfair. Yeah, we have Rose Rabbit Live. We have places like that on the Strip. But let's not add everybody to this equation. Let's just come up with some new concepts. What are those concepts, Kay? Well, to be honest with you, I don't know. I'm not in that business. But I'd love to hear your guys, actually, what you guys would love to have as concepts for dining. But I think we need to get away from that. Just, okay, this is fat, everybody do this. Maybe a couple resorts have it, because it really kind of then, that's what you're going to that resorts for, and it keeps the customers coming and going. So I think some other places need to do that. I know X-Pot sounds like a cool idea. And I know there's been some announcements at other places about some cool interactive stuff that they're doing. I mean, like Area 51, maybe they can try some of that. But just some new ideas to kind of keep things fresh and interesting. And number 10, kind of sticking along that line, bring back a public house or a brewery to the Strip. Now, yes, you're saying, well, you can go get any craft beer that is Vegas or international. Or local or regional in Las Vegas at most of your big pizza, burger bars and that. And there are some great selections there. However, when the public house closed, we lost kind of that niche beer bar, and there's still some decent beer bars, but I'd like to see some of those come back. I'd also like, because Sin City went out, I'd like to see a brewery open up in Las Vegas Strip area, or 2 or 3, or maybe some of these breweries like Love Lady, Banger, Craft House, etc. Bring maybe a tap room to one of these resorts or casinos. I just think that's going to help. I know the craft beer market is saturated right now. It's kind of slowly fading away, but you're still seeing them open. And to be honest, craft beer is great beer. So I'd like to see maybe some of those announcements, maybe another public house with a lot of unique and rich and rare beers like that come back to the Strip. Number 11, we're going downtown. That Fremont East continues to grow and expand areas that are now vacant. You know, Container Park and then past Atomic Liquors is starting to be revitalized. But prior to that, there's still some dead area. And Fremont Street East, last time I was out there in 19, places were kind of closing down again. There's still a lot of turmoil. I'd like to get some established places there and continue to build that. Now, that doesn't mean by the end of 2021, Fremont is going to be packed. And I understand the economy, it's going to be hard for it to come back. But at least start to have plans and announcements to get that area kind of. I would like to see Fremont Street go from all the way at the plaza, all the way down past Atomic Liquors, and get that area kind of going. And that can be apartments, that can be another maybe hotel, things like that. Just let's get this area going, because that's going to be a nice area to build up for visitors and for the community of Las Vegas. And along those lines, we're staying in downtown Las Vegas. That Binion's keeps updating its place. Now, I saw this in a couple other people. They've done Whiskey Liquor Upper, and that was it. They've done Hotel Apache. Let's keep building that place. Get some new things going there. I'm not going to talk much about, but you guys know, once you get past the casino and you're starting to walk out the back, there's a lot of area there that can be used and build some stuff. So I'd like to see that kind of keep building. And also along those lines, Neon Apocalypse. Now they're doing some things. They're adding some stuff. They were doing that pre-pandemic. They've kind of had some plans. I'm liking this. Let's keep building that area, folks. There's a lot of neat little things in that area. I'd like to see that. And I don't just want Frank's Pawn Shop in there. I want to see some more restaurants. I want to see some unique things like the Vegas Nerds Bar, like Banger, like Heart Attack Grill. Just unique offerings. If we can get some more of them, rather than just nickel and dime shops. And they're starting to do that with the karaoke bar. You know, you got the axe throwing bar. There's some cool things there, but I just want to see some more of that. Make it more of a social gathering place like you've started. Let's get some more businesses down there. And this last one, number 14, kind of ties into Area 15. That's a unique place. I want to see more unique places off Strip like that. What are they, KA? I don't know. But we got Top Golf. We have this place. There should be some things that people that don't want to just hang out downtown or on Strip, if they want to get out and see things, have some more unique experiences off Strip. I'd like to see some more projects like Area 15 announced. Doesn't have to be exactly like that. Could be other ideas. But I want to see maybe a couple more off-strip unique things announced. And finally, in closing, I would like that everybody that goes back to Vegas rekindles the imagination of and joy of Las Vegas. I've seen so many people on social media and on there that just are having fun out there. They're making the best of it. And that's awesome. But I want us to get back to where we can walk around, have fun, where there's no fights breaking out. The scooter squads aren't running amok. And that just weird things aren't happening. So that's what I want to wish everybody that goes out there in 15 the best of times, and that you make a lot of money while you're out there. All right. So that's it for today on Talking Vegas KA. Before we head out, make a comment. What are some things you want to see for Las Vegas in 2021? Leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. And as always, hit that like button and click subscribe. And I'll see you next time on Talking Vegas All Day with me, KA.